Hello, everybody. This is Evan Rogers. We're coming at you with another NHK Easy News article. This one actually is difficult, if I do say so myself, says Jay Z. This is using a lot of passives, which are it uses passive, but it uses them in more than one way, and we're gonna have to deal with a lot of ni particles. So this is good to see. Some new grammar that we haven't been introduced to yet. So grab yourself a t-shirt. All links below. Patreon, Subscribe Star. I've got some interesting ideas for anybody who subscribed at Patreon. So if you're a Patreon or Subscribe Star member, go check it out right now so that you can see what I wrote. SNS, that just means social media. Ni kakareta, this is the passive. Kakareta warukuchi 14件を消すことができた. Alright, so we have a verb, 消すことができた. That means we're able to. So verb in the plain form plus koto turns it into a noun. So the erasing or the extinguishing. So that's like the erasing or the extinguishing. Depends on how they want to translate kesu. Koto ga dekiru. So when we make it a noun and we say ga dekita, that means was able to do. We were able to get rid of kesu. Is there actually more than one kesu? Trace, delete, traffic. Yeah, no, those are all the same. Okay, so 14 incident. This is the counter for incidents. No joke. They have a counter for incidents. Warukuchi, insults. Kakareta. This is a verb going into a noun, so it's insults that were written. So normally kaku kakimas would be in the regular non-passive, and that would just mean somebody writes something. But this is kakareta, so kakimas kaku. But if it goes to the ka sound, that ends in the re, ru, or whatever it might be, it turns into the passive. So kakareta would be the passive past tense, and it means was written. So insults that were written, ni SNS ni, so that means on social media. 14 incidents they were able to get rid of, delete, extinguish, whatever you might translate kesu as in this situation. Delete, I'm going to go with delete. That's what we generally do with things. So insults written on social media. We were able to delete 14 incidents. So that should scare you if you value freedom. It should make you happy if you value not getting your feelings hurt, I suppose. This was written on September 22nd, and I've already looked through this once. It looks like they're talking about that one video with the pro wrestling girl that committed suicide. That sucks, and I'm sorry to hear that happen. Don't take away my rights, though. 今年5月、プロレス、this is pro wrestling, プロレスの選手の女性が亡くなりました。Again, 亡くなりました。This is the slightly nicer way of saying to die. So there's shinu, shinimasu, and this is nakunaru, nakunarimasu. I think this is legit the e adjective nai, which would be the negative of aru, which is to not be, to not exist, and then they turn the ku and then they add narimasu. But that could be what's going on, and it's just been going on for so long that they've kept it as a single verb. But it's better just to think of it as a single verb. Nakunaru, nakunarimasu, nakunatta. Treat it just like narimasu. It operates just like narimasu, nakunatta. Okay, so josei ga nakunarimashita. So a woman, a lady. She's a lady, and she died. She passed away. Maybe that'd be a good translation for nakunarimashita. Senshu no josei. So I'm going to go all the way to pro wrestling. Pro wrestling no senshu no josei. So a pro wrestler essentially would be an athlete or a contender. No josei. And so everything's modifying woman. A woman died. And this woman is a pro wrestling contender. I guess is a contender for pro wrestlers. And that's kotoshi no 5月. So that would be this May. So this May, a female pro wrestler passed away. 警察は The police 女性がインターネットの SNS に書いてあった悪口に悩んで自殺したと考えています。Okay, so the 警察 are thinking. So notice that we have a chief subject with a wa particle followed by a to of quotation followed by a meanings of communication, which would be to think. So the police are thinking, or they opine, or their opinion opine. They're opining, they're thinking, they're considering it, something like that. That's kind of what kangaeru means. They think a certain way. The police are thinking or have been thinking or have thought or have whatever you want to translate kangai te iru to. It generally just means they've been doing that or they have done it. Notice the have done feeling of this. Even though you might translate te iru as currently happening, it much more means have done. In a situation like this, it can mean have done. All right, so what are they thinking? They're thinking that josei ga. Notice the subject of the sentence final verb is the wa particle, whereas there's a clause here. And so that this is what they're thinking. Notice that there's no quotation. This isn't a direct quotation, so they don't put those brackets in. This is an indirect quotation. That's one of the reasons why there's a wa here. And then the clause of what they're thinking, the sentence subject here gets a ga. So, 女性がインターネットの SNS に書いてあった悪口に悩んで自殺した。Okay, so the final, so 女性が she悩んだ, and then she also 自殺した. 自殺, this is the kanji for oneself followed by kill, so commit suicide. 自殺しました, so she committed suicide. And Nayande, she was bothered by something. She was bereaved. She was all of that sort of an idea. Very sad. And she was bereaved. Like this ni particle, we might translate as over. Like she was bereaved over. She was worried about. She was feeling really bad about. Really quickly, nayande would be the nayamu verb. So this, just so in case you want to look it up, it's nayamu, to be worried about, to be troubled about. Yeah, I was looking for a better translation, but that, you know, she was worried about, she was thinking a lot about. And notice the ni particle. You might be thinking that she was thinking about the watakuchi. So and you might think it would get an O particle, and I think that's a good instinct that you might think it's an O particle, but the ni is kind of like that's what's making her nayamu. That's what's causing her to do it, and that's why we get the ni particle there. That's kind of the cause of it, and that's going to be important. We're going to be talking about this idea when we get to the passive. There's no passive in this sentence, but the same way that this ni particle is kind of giving you the thing over which or what caused her to be nayande iruing, that's what this ni is going to be doing in the passive form. Okay. So watakuchi ni nayande. So she was worried about. She was in trouble about. She was thinking too much about. She was negatively affected by the watakuchi. And this watakuchi, the insults, wa kaite atta. They had been written SNS ni on social media. So these insults that were written on social media, internet no, of course, internet. Social. I don't know why you'd bother putting internet no SNS in here. You know, do you remember those social media websites that existed in pen and paper? So anyway, I think I made my point. So, 女性がインターネットの SNS に書いてあった. So notice the ni here is where they were written. So when you write something onto a piece of paper, it's piece of paper ni kaku. And then the te aru form, te aru, it means it happened and it's there. So it's done, happening. They have been written at a location. It's used exclusively with transitive. If the verb has an object that you are acting upon, only those verbs can get the te aru form. So you can't do ite aru. So even though iku can use an o particle, those can't be used with the aru forms. Okay, so 女性がインターネットの SNS に書いてあった. So 書いてあった悪口. So these are the insults when we have a verb in front of them that were written on internet social media. She was bereaved over them, she was worried about them, and she killed herself. The police have been thinking. All right, that's the first paragraph. I will see you soon. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you like, subscribe, and share this video to everybody you know and yell at them repeatedly until they subscribe as well. If you'd like to support me even more, head on over to patreon.com, where for just $1 a month, 3 cents a day, that's it, it's darn near free, you can help me financially keep these videos coming. And as a reward for your Patreon donations, you get access to all of the miscellaneous things that I produce to help out my own students who I teach in person, and also just things that I make for myself. And if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, head on over to Teespring, where you can get lots of fun clothing, mugs, stickers, cell phone cases, all that I've designed. More designs to come. I hope you have yourself a happy dappy day. Peace out.